It's Monday, and you know what that means. Time for another Sports Monday to conclude your weekend and get your week started on the right foot, the good foot, with the Flex Zone Podcast, episode 460, a milestone episode. So you know we opened the doors to a monumental day one. Yes, who's been with us since the beginning of the Flex Zone Podcast. The NFL Game of the Year took place in Cincinnati. That MVP number 3 may be on the way for number 8. Ravens in 3 in a row. And on their way up north, the first place team is the Battle of the Beltways. May be the biggest one in recent memory. We're going to take a look at week 5. Look ahead to week 6, Monday Night Football. WNBA playoffs, the 13th bid is over in Vegas. The Liberty advantage. Of course, take a look at the college football weekend that was. We the MLB playoff update, big week with Davante, and give out our game ball, not so game ball. Flex Zone, episode 460. Let's get to it.
In the noisy confusion of life, keep peace with your soul. With all its shadows.
Stiff arming the competition harder than Lamar Jackson stiff armed Sam Hubbard yesterday up in Cincinnati. It's the Flex Zone Podcast, fellas. Only place giving you sports how you want it.
When you need it.
Episode 460, another monumental episode, and we are opening the forbidden door to Flex Zone to a monumental guest who's been rocking with us since the early days of the launch of the podcast as well. We got to get to that week 5. Week 6 picks, game ball, not so game ball. College football was crazy this week. The Vegas Aces, they gone, as we'll have a new WNBA champion as well. Roll Tide, they got rolled down in Vandy, along with just about everybody else in college football, as it was one of the wildest weekends that we can remember in recent memory. And, of course, we got to talk about some of the big headlines in the NFL. As a certain wide receiver wants to be traded as well. Of course, Davante will get goofy, and I know he's feeling real good as his team is on their way up north here in Baltimore. Higher than those ticket prices keep going up on StubHub. But make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the bell, vote on the poll. Where does Mr. Adams go? Who should trade for him? And let us know your thoughts down below. Of course, always email us at theflexzone1@gmail.com. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the Flex Zone 1, the TikTok, the Flex Zone Podcast. And as always, here on the home ship, the mothership, YouTube. Let's get to it. This brother's been with me each and every day this past week as we were live just about every day. He's a social media producer, makes everything pristine. And I know after that win yesterday, he was enjoying his meal and enjoying his Ravens.
No bread, no water, just meat.
Finish him, Daddy.
That's one big son of a bitch!
What's up, Raj?
Yeah, man, what's going on, man? I'm tired. I'm not gonna say a lot to you. I'm barely holding on. Don't have too much energy. The Ravens sapped it out of me yesterday with that ridiculous game.
So the Ravens finished you, Daddy? Is that what they did?
They finished me, and then the Cowboys in Pittsburgh. I mean, they was out to like 1:15 in the morning.
Finish him, Daddy.
It's too much, man. Just too much. And then, not to mention Morgan's homecoming. Lord have mercy. It's just too much, man. It's just too much. But carry on.
This next brother, he's been smiling for the past month. He can't stop smiling. And you look at that pristine smile. His team is headed up north. He was at homecoming, and he's still always the number one Commandalorian, the one, the only Davante Bebe. And let's just say his song is number 1 on the chart.
Those haters can't stand us. Left hand up. Commanders. We fight for RDC. Who are we? The Commanders.
Stupid. Just stupid.
Yeah.
Well, now that's goofy.
Yeah.
Jam.
Yeah.
Oh, jam.
Each week we play it, they win. So just saying.
I just want our good brother in the green room to know I do not like that song. I do not approve of it, but they play it every week and it's annoying. But we're winning, so I'll let it go. But just want you to know, brother, hey, I don't approve. But yes, it feels good to be a Commanders fan for once. You know, I'll get into the lavish details later as we stuck our foot in the Cleveland Browns, which is an amazing thing. Our past 3 wins, we were putting up a crazy amount of points, and I feel great about my quarterback, my offense, pretty much everything. Defense is even playing better. But the real test is coming up this Sunday.
This man always strives for greatness. He is the Flex Zone co-creator with Davante. He is Mr. Morgan State University. He is Mr. Boston Hall University, Mr. Worldwide, the Sultan of Suave, the phenomenal one, the A-lister, my good brother, Drizzy Dre, back again for another episode. What's going on, my guy?
Hey, man, I'm just happy to be back.
Acknowledge me.
And of course, you know, having good brother Yoes with us.
Let's not waste any more time.
He's laughing. He was laughing at all the goofiness that was going that Byron was saying about you. He just chuckling.
And look, man, he always gives me a hard way to go, man. And I'll say this: I miss trolling our good brother. Well, I don't think anybody upset Yoes the way I could troll him.
Let's get to it. He's waiting patiently. This brother's been with us before episode 1. Davante and Dre know him very well. He was a part of the NWA Sports Report on WEAA, along with Dre, along with Davante, along with Mikkel, along with El Crawford. Shout out to El Crawford and Mikkel. Yes. He is a media personality. He is a contributor to one of the longest running newspapers in the world, the Afro. And you can't forget the man. He is one of the greatest, like the man behind the Muhammad Ali. He is a Raiders fan as well, and he's here to talk all about that as well in a very important election in less than 30 days. I know he's got thoughts on that as well because I want to hear what he got to say. I want him to unleash his political views on the Flex Zone, unfiltered, unbiased, the one, the only, returning back to the Flex Zone podcast, gracing us with his time, the one and only. Put your hands together. Sean Yoes, everybody.
The Sultan of Suave?
That's a new one.
That's actually a new one. That's new.
Wow. That's
Yoes, if you had saw me and El Crawford this past weekend, you would have saw the Sultan of Suave.
Man. Oh man, I bet it was spectacular. It
was definitely a show, man.
I mean, y'all won 41-0?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was
I'm sure you were in your element. How many did you have around you, Dre?
Well, you know, actually, I just partied with El Crawford on Friday. Saturday, I missed homecoming. My niece was she was in a play, so I actually missed homecoming this year.
Oh, you sound like a domesticated Sultan of Suave now.
Don't go fool you, man.
Okay.
Sean, what's going on, brother? How you been? What is going on? How's the family? What's new with you, brother? How you been?
Everything's new. So I am, even though I still contribute to the Afro every once in a while, I'm not officially with the Afro. I've been gone for a few years. I ventured out on my own, and I'm making film, working on documentary films now, and so that's what I've been really focused on. More than the journalism aspect of things. As a matter of fact, I was over in DC. I was telling Dre that I was over in DC shooting all day today. So I'm tired too. But I said I would do this with y'all, have a little reunion. So I'm here and I'm happy to be here. But yeah, I've been working on documentary films for the last year. Really the last 3 years. I did a film called Eroding History, another one called The Highway to Nowhere, Baltimore's Highway to Nowhere, and I'm working on 4 short films now. So that's what I've been getting into. But as far as football, I'm clearly not in the best moods this week. Being a Raiders fan is abuse. That's abuse. I mean, you got to be a really sturdy person to have. I've been with them a long time, and so I want to hear what y'all have to say about Davante Adams and Antonio Pierce and where Davante Adams is going to go. I mean, yeah.
Well, man, so funny story. When y'all faced us a few weeks ago, it's a guy that was my algebra teacher in high school, and this man used to give me the blues in high school, man. And then it just was like even more salt on the wound when the Raiders won that game, and he had all his Raiders stuff on. I was with watching that Buffalo Wild Wings. I was like, out of all people, I would run into your ass.
I was at the bank.
Yeah, he was at the bank.
Me and my Raider crew were there. I couldn't believe it. When it was the fourth quarter, and I didn't celebrate until it was about 23 seconds left, and Lamar almost took it to the house.
That's the time he should have.
Yeah, but yeah, we got away with that one. But this up and down stuff, man. I mean, to beat the Ravens the way we did, and then the next week for us to lose to Carolina was just beyond brutal. It was really, I think that with the Raiders specifically, a lot of people believed, and I'm an optimist by default. I'm an optimistic person, so I want to believe that Antonio Pierce, on the strength of his personality and the fact that he was an All-Pro and he was a Super Bowl champion, and he had the locker room going. You wanted to believe after the Ravens win that we had maybe turned the corner. That that took, in my mind, that was the team that beat the Chiefs on Christmas Day. In my mind, that was the team that put 63 on the Chargers. But to just go from that high to the basement, losing to Carolina, getting steamrolled by Carolina, it's just like, man, this is too much, man. I've never been in an abusive relationship, but this feels really abusive, man. Like,
do you think it's him losing the locker room, not having a quarterback, or what do you think? Maybe
I think it's a combination of things. I think Gardner Minshew's not a starting quarterback in the NFL. He's a very good backup quarterback, in my opinion. I mean, he started from Jacksonville, but all that Minshew mania and stuff. He hyped the dude up, but he's just not he doesn't have the tools to be a really solid starting quarterback. And in my opinion, in the NFL, I think we should have bought him on as a backup, but the kid Aiden O'Connell's not really ready. He has a nice arm, but he has no pocket presence. He can't move. So we just have a really bad situation at quarterback. Our offensive coordinator is trash, Luke Getsy. He was like our third choice. So, he'll go on these tangents where it feels like the offense is kind of gelling. But then he just becomes very conservative, and he acts like he doesn't know what he's doing. He makes these really ridiculous calls, a lot of run plays on 3rd and long and screens, and just can we cuss? Can I cuss on this? No.
Yeah, you sure can. We just showed a cuss word.
Yeah, I will cuss at some point, I'm sure. But yeah, it's really tough right now. And then Davante didn't help us, man, by just deciding he quit. He don't want to play for us anymore. I think from the beginning he always kind of had that he was above us kind of energy. You know, I mean, Derek Carr convinced him to come to the Raiders. Derek didn't work out, and so I think he was just really sour on the whole experience from after that point.
Now he wants to play with Derek again. So do you feel like it was just maybe like him and the Raiders? It's just that because y'all had a bad wave where Chucky comes in and you think that you're turning the tide with a new coach and it's a new era, and then that experiment doesn't end up panning out. I forgot who you guys. I forgot who you guys had. Then Antonio Pierce comes in, like you said.
It was Chucky. Then it was McDummy.
McDaniel. Then it doesn't pan out, and then like you said, now you're with Antonio Pierce, and it's just you don't know because now there's a rocky relationship with Davante Adams there.
Well, and the thing is this. I mean, Josh McDaniel. I really believe this. He poisoned our team. He should never ever be a head coach in the NFL ever again. He's that abysmal. He's not a leader of men. I'm not saying he's not. He's a solid offensive mind, I think, but I think he's overrated. I mean, they made him seem like he was an offensive genius when I don't. He had the greatest quarterback that ever lived. Mm-hmm. He had one of the greatest head coaches that ever lived. I think McDummy got exposed when he got exposed a few times. What did he do? He quit
Broncos.
He was with the Broncos.
He quit on the Colts
before even getting there.
Yeah, I mean, so this is a dubious character already, right? And he comes here, and it was almost like he literally poisoned the team. And then AP takes that same group of men, has them playing like a unit. I mean, what we did to the Chiefs on Christmas Day was a thing of beauty.
Man.
What we did to the Chargers was a thing of beauty. You know, I still believe in what AP's selling. I think Max Crosby believes in it. Max basically put his career on the line to make sure that AP became the permanent head coach. But we've had a lot of injuries. We've got 2 trash quarterbacks, or at least 1.5 trash quarterbacks. We have a trash offensive coordinator. We kind of have a trash offensive line. It's a little bit better now that we put the kid in, the rookie Jackson. But it's rough. We got some offensive weapons. This kid Brock Bowers, I think, is going to be an All-Pro probably by next year, if not this year.
No,
I know he leads all. He leads like all rookie
tight ends
in reception.
Oh, Brock Bowers,
yeah. He had 9 9 or 10 yesterday. He had 9 against the Ravens. He's a stud. He's a serious stud. So we have some upside. We have some things, but you know, it's going to be tough against the Steelers. Now, okay, yeah, I'm tired of talking. Who is Davante Adams? Who are we going to trade him to?
Well, breaking news, apparently he will be on Kay Adams' show tomorrow. So there may be some more investigation. But apparently, Sean, the holdup is the Jets were in London. The Saints are playing right now on Monday. So it's kind of slow right now as those teams are kind of busy. But it seems like he wants to play with Derek Carr, who's just on his back, so he may be hurt. And Aaron Rodgers, who looks like a geriatric quarterback anyway. I mean, that's really the only 2 options it looks like.
Well, I heard that the Steelers were making an aggressive push for Davante Adams.
But he wants to play with somebody he's familiar with.
You think he wants to play with those quarterbacks, Sean? You seen Justin Fields last night?
Oh, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you don't want to go there. You don't want to go there.
He said, no, not me. I would.
I'm gonna be real.
Look, I wish he would come with us.
I'm gonna be real with you, Sean. I'm gonna be real with you. Who he should go to if he's going to leave the Raiders should be the Baltimore Ravens, because we are the best option for him to come to right now.
Who do we get?
What would you get? You get a draft pick.
We get a second,
maybe a second or a third.
We're asking for a second and a player. You know,
they want the Raiders. They want the Raiders to pay for the contract because he's owed $35 million in the next year.
Got the perfect player for you. You can have Brandon Stevens. You can take him. I'll give rap to you.
He can have Ron Stanley.
Who?
Give
Ron,
him.
no, he can't have
Get,
Ron. No, he can't have Ronnie Stanley.
Ron is Ron. No, Ron
No,
messed up
bro.
on too much on the offensive
No.
line.
We had
We
Brandon
just scored 40
Stevens.
points
The
yesterday.
guy that
They
was
talking
getting
about they want
burned
another
all
receiver.
over the field yesterday. You can have him. What gift happened to you?
Sean, we just scored 41 and they talking about they want another receiver. How spoiled are these guys?
Hey, man.
I don't get it.
I mean,
I don't
where's
get
he
it.
gonna? So Davante, man, I think that I don't know if he. I mean,
he wants the ball.
Yeah, I think honestly, I mean, Davante is probably a Hall of Famer. Pretty sure. I mean, if he has, I think he's a Hall of Famer. He's a great player. He goes through these spells where he has some drops though, which are maddening. But I feel like if we had a plausible offensive coordinator, we would do better without Davante, only because at this point we're trying to force everything through him, and we've got a lot of offense. I mean, that kid Trey Tucker is nice. You know, that kid Brock Bowers is going to be an All-Pro, like I said earlier. We have Jacoby Myers. You know, we have there's another kid that we have. There's a kid that we picked up, undrafted free agent, McAllister, who's got some talent too. So we've got some pieces on offense, and quite frankly, you know what I think, and this is what is strange to me. I have not seen anybody make this observation. To me, Brock Bowers reminds me of AJ Brown. Like, he's a tight end technically, but I mean, he can move around and play base. He can play the slot. He can play out wide. He can play fullback. He can play half. He can do anything. And that boy, I mean, he has a nose for the ball, and he has crazy like yards after the catch.
Yes.
He's really a multi-dimensional player. And instead of locking him in as a tight end, I mean, you can even lock him in, run him out of a two tight end set, obviously. But he can run from just about any offensive position on the field. So instead of maybe having a traditional one receiver, maybe he's our one. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. I just think Davante, man, it's just like, if he's not getting the ball, he's all sassy. He's all in his feelings and stuff. And it's just the energy it's not good for the team as a whole and the offense in particular. Now, he could go to Baltimore and he could really connect with Lamar, But I don't even know. Do y'all need him? I mean,
no,
Sean.
Yes.
I don't see it.
No,
we need a number one. We need a true number one wide receiver.
Well,
you want to know why?
Flowers isn't. I mean, he may not be a one, but he's pretty nice.
A number one. We need a number one because I'm gonna tell you why we need a number one. We seen it last season. Why we need a number one because every time we get into the playoffs, they want to abandon the run and try to pass the ball all over the field. A bunch of receivers is covered. There is no Zay Flowers. There is no Bateman. There was no OBJ because OBJ is not a number one anymore. You need a true number one to take the pressure off of everybody else. Now,
Davante Adams though. You don't need Davante Adams though. Needing number one and needing Davante Adams is not the same thing.
Give me
but if you have a Davante Adams, it helps out. Like you saw Zay. That's why Zay last year was able to go off, because having OBJ there, it's a distraction, and then it allows somebody like a Zay Flowers to go off.
Do you think a guy that wants the ball as much as Davante Adams is going to thrive in Baltimore?
Yes.
Yes.
Because he wants to win.
Especially with that run game that they have the run game that they got.
On the show. It was a show that he did, a radio show that he did. I don't know if it was Kay Adams or whoever, but he said they asked him, they was like, would you rather play with Lamar Jackson, who you might get 850 yards, or would you rather go get your typical 1,200, 1,300 yards? He was like, I'd rather win. He's like, at this point in my career,
that sounds good. Let's be honest.
I want a championship.
That sounds good. It sounds good. But in
reality, he said the opposite thing last year. He said when we were losing games, and he said, well, I'm not. It was a game that he came off of where he had a lot of drops. And he said, well, I'm not really concerned with wins and losses. I'm concerned with greatness. I mean, what kind of
If he wanted to
egomaniacal
win, his
nonsense?
ass would be on the field as he should have been yesterday. He ain't hurt.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Listen,
I wouldn't doubt it.
he is a. You don't want. Why would you bring that type of energy to?
I don't want him, Cavante.
And
I don't want him.
your locker room. Why would you bring that type of? And you already don't have a leader in the Ravens locker room, and you bring in a toxic Davante Adams. I just don't think the optics don't work out. Like on paper, sure, but the optics. Let's be real. He's a disgruntled wide receiver. And you know what you do with disgruntled wide receivers? You get rid of them. It's quick, fast, in a hurry. Now, who's willing to give up a 2 for Davante Adams is the question. Because you also got to take on his contract unless they working something out with the Raiders, whereas though the Raiders still play half or something like that. But who's giving up a 2?
So like we were literally asking for like a 2. Like if we traded him to the Jets, we were asking for like a 2. And the kid, Wilson.
Ooh, Jesus Christ.
That's what we were asking for. Now, will we get that? I don't know. But that's what we were asking.
Bring that draft pick down if y'all getting Wilson. God dog.
So, I mean, Davante, when he's on, he's legit. On. I mean, he's a beast when he's on. But he's been really inconsistent. He shows up big some games and other games, he's just those drops, man. Damn, that's the worst. That's the worst when you have one who drops like 3 or 4 balls in a game. That's crazy.
Can I ask you about a picture real quick, Sean? Can I ask you your thoughts on this real quick?
Sure.
Can I ask you something real quick? I just want to know your thoughts. Like I know because how do you feel about this picture right here? Just the other day.
Who is that?
That's your owner.
I know.
That's
I
Mark
know.
Davis.
I know that. But who's the cat with him?
That's Shador Sanders.
Oh, I mean,
do you like the young brother? I mean, he's balling out in college. Colorado, doing the thing.
He's nice. I mean, I just I wonder about taking. I mean, we're still gun shy off of Jamarcus Russell, taking him at 1 and him being one of the biggest busts that ever in the history of the NFL. I'm not likening him to Shador Sanders, but there's just no guarantees with kids coming out. I mean, Jaden Daniels looks phenomenal. The kid Stroud looks phenomenal. The kid in Carolina, not so much. So it's just a gamble, man. I would love to see Shador Sanders come to the Raiders and ball the fuck out. That would be dope. But how do we know, man? How do we know? Oh my God. It would be great though. I mean, what is he doing? What is he doing right now? Because I don't pay attention to college.
I think he's 4-1 right now.
They only got 1 loss. He's a beautiful pocket passer. He doesn't run much, but he can throw that ball.
Well, we need that. But I know he can run.
He can run a little bit, but he's not. He's not super fast or anything. But he has a beautiful arm. Like he makes the correct plays. If you give him a line, he can play the part. But the brother right now is balling out though for Colorado.
Either him or if you haven't heard his name, Sean, and I'm gonna put it out there, Cam Ward from Miami. He's rising.
Really Cam Ward, yeah.
He is balling out. Another brother that can do his thing. I'm just putting him out. Another brother. So just putting it out there. He's gonna be drafted really high. Just putting it out.
If they had the offensive coach, I would say that one guy who's like kind of similar to Patrick Mahomes. You know who I'm talking about, Byron. He we had talked about him. He's only a freshman. He got a long way to go. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they'll be drafting for a while anyway.
Let me ask y'all a question real quick. I remember when Hugh Jackson was our coach, and he specifically went after Jason Campbell, former Redskins / Commander quarterback, got him, built the offense around him. And the Raiders were looking like a playoff team until he got hurt. And that's when Hugh Jackson lost his mind and traded for Carson Palmer gave the store away and just
Oh
tore
yeah,
the
y'all
organization
did give away
apart.
the house.
But for that one shining moment, Jason Campbell, with the offense built around him, our offense was really, really solid. Our defense was solid, and we were a good team. I mean, what do you see coaches now, or coaches and or offensive coordinators building offenses specifically around players, or is it just the player has to fit into the system or scheme that the offensive coordinator comes up with?
I think you can. The interesting thing about that is we see it when the quarterback does well or when he fails. You could see who really takes the time to build an offense around what they do well instead of trying to fit a square peg into a circle. I think that's what happened in Carolina. The guy who he had, Frank Wright, who's supposed to be the quarterback whisperer, got canned after 11 games, 12 games or something like that. You're destroying not only Frank Wright. 11 games is absurd. Like, I don't care how bad the season was. Like, 11 games is kind of crazy. Unless he was on some like Urban Meyer type of stuff. I think Frank Wright deserved that.
Not Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer was wild. Let's be honest. Urban Meyer was wilding. But Frank Wright didn't deserve that. But now you set your quarterback, your rookie quarterback, even more so. Because I think Frank Wright had a plan for Bryce Young. But you now Bryce Young is 3 steps behind because you fired his coach midway through the season. I think what Cliff Kingsbury is doing with Jaden Daniels is absolutely amazing. Is an example of, if you take the time to construct an offense around your young quarterback, this is the potential of it. But
Kingsbury was our first choice of offense coordinator, and he at the last minute he decided to go somewhere else, go to the Commanders.
Yeah,
I don't blame him.
Jaden Daniels. I mean, but the talk was that we were gonna do everything in our power to get Jaden Daniels, but when it came down to it, the price was just too high.
And y'all won too many games. But
Adam Peters wasn't coming off that.
But yeah, to answer your question though, I mean, I think we've seen it here with Lamar Jackson. He was your typical quarterback that ran the football, and I think our offensive coordinator at the time was Marty Morningwig, and we was coming from having Joe Flacco for the last 10 years. We were a certain type of way. We were pretty much throwing the football all over the field at times, and soon as he got hurt, it was like, oh my God, we have to pivot to Lamar now because Lamar, plays totally different. And I remember that first season watching Lamar Jackson, and we would just run the football like almost every down. Like we would not throw the ball at all. I think he threw for like 1,000 yards, and that was it. But like every play was a run play. And the second year we got we had Greg Roman on the staff, but he was promoted to offensive coordinator for the second year. But he kind of much of course he has a typical running style, but he knows how to incorporate the pass, maybe not all the way, but he incorporates it. But he played more towards Lamar's strengths at the time, which was running the football constantly. So I think as time grew on, of course Lamar developed even more, but I think starting out you need somebody like a Greg Roman or somebody who for your quarterback to grow with and know their deficiencies and how they can, get better. But yeah, I think all that plays in the part though. Like you got to have the right people around that person in order for them to get better. I mean, look at what we watching now with Andy Reid and
Mahomes.
And Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Patrick Mahomes came into a perfect situation where he was able to sit behind Alex Smith for an entire season. Didn't play at all. Second season, as soon as Alex Smith was out of there, the second season or his second season, I think he was the MVP, I believe, of the year, right?
Yeah,
I mean, but he's a generational talent also.
But I mean,
but nobody knew about that though. No, he was unknown. It was like, who is this guy? You
had to watch. Unless you watch college football, but he played. I think the last game or two, and then after that, that's when they knew. They was like, yeah, we know that this is the guy. It's got to be a combination of everything. It's got to be the right owner. It's got to be the right coach, the right situation. Like and all those things, don't happen overnight. I mean, you got Jalen Hurts and how that situation happened with the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, you just have to. Houston is a prime example. Them number 2 picks lately. They've been the ballers out of because them number 1s haven't really. Well, Caleb Williams, we still got some.
He's starting to get it together, Dre.
He's starting.
He looked good Sunday. He looked pretty good.
But I mean, it's got to be the right combination.
Okay.
Sean, can we pivot before we get you out of here? I know you tired. But go ahead, Dre. What's up?
I was about to say, before you pivot, I do got to ask him real quick. Are you were going to pivot to politics or to the Orioles?
I don't really want to talk about the Orioles. I talked about them enough over an hour. Check it out on the channel. But go ahead, Dre.
I got to ask Yoes, what my Yankees, we in there, but I mean the Orioles. How do you feel about the Orioles these past couple?
What do you mean? What I think about what? I mean, I posted the other day. I was like, I've followed these cats for decades, man. Decades. And they are just pure, unadulterated chokers. How do you do that to your fan base? I mean, just choke.
I agree, Sean. I agree.
Choke. How do you battle the Yankees all season long and then literally just fall apart at the end of the year and then go into the playoffs and get unceremoniously swept? It's crazy. They did the same thing last year. Everybody was all hyped thinking, oh, they're going to do this. And they just went out like clowns. So I don't know if it's just in sports, period, but in baseball, there's a certain mentality, man, that you got to have. And I don't know if it's and sometimes it can be instilled in the team by the manager, and other times it's just the mentality of the team itself, the chemistry of the team. These guys just, when it comes down to it, playoff baseball is a whole nother animal. And you got to be tough. You got to have that. You have to have that pitching in all aspects of it, starting, bullpen. I used to trip out when I was a kid. I would watch the World Series every year. And it always seemed like the teams that made it to the end always had these phenomenal pitching staffs. So there's a reason for that. They had great starters. Everybody had these sparkling numbers. And that's what wins baseball, pitching and defense. And timely hitting. I mean, I think that equation is still it's still plausible. It still makes sense. And I don't know but there's also another component, an intangible component, and that's heart. And this team, when it comes to the playoffs, no, man, I don't know if is it Brandon Hyde or is it just the kids themselves? I mean, if you can scrap during the season, how come you can't pull it together during the playoffs? I don't understand it. I really don't understand it.
I can't blame Brandon Hyde for this season. Well, for this playoff run. I mean, he put the perfect pitches out there, and they could not hit anything.
Well, the Orioles also had opportunities to make moves and didn't.
No, they didn't, yeah. So it didn't.
Well, they made the wrong moves. Let's just say that. They made moves, just some of the wrong. I don't think they have a leader, Sean. I don't think they have a leader.
That's strange, man. They got some guys who can play. How you pronounce that?
Santander.
Him?
Yeah, I like him.
Well, he's a free agent, so he may be coming.
Dang, they ain't gonna play that Spanish music at the park no more now.
Mullins was the only run, Sean. 1 run in 2 games is unacceptable. They got the pitching and the defense. They couldn't score runs. I can't put that on high. They don't have a dog in the
right. They lost. What they lost 1-0 and 2-1.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then also remember Batista was hurt this year, so they didn't have their closer.
Right.
But like you said, Yoes, you gotta have all 3 components. You can't just depend solely on the closer. And then the bats just weren't hitting. So
it's called a choke.
For the last 10 years.
Young team, but they need something to get them over And I feel kind of bad too for y'all, the last manager that you guys had, because it's like he always gets the teams right and then they just fire him. It's true. I can't think of y'all last
Oh,
manager.
Buck is done. Buck is the
Bucky.
game is passed Buck by. He gone.
Buck.
He done.
Buck
Buck
Showalter.
Showalter?
Buck Showalter.
Buck was good for you.
I love Buck Showalter.
Did you see what he did with the Mets last year, Dre? And look at the Mets now. He's done.
Yeah, that's true.
Not you
Just
taking
like
over
Dusty- just like
At
Dusty
least
on
he,
TV.
at least he loves his guys.
Hey,
He loves his guys.
Byron, now that's a perfect transition to
Well,
to
speaking
talk
of
about taking over
I'm
yellow to the shed.
taking somebody to the shed, Joe Biden, he's
boy.
getting taken to the shed by the Democratic Party because he done. Kamala tags in, she subs in. Sean, we got to ask you, man, less than 30 days. What the hell is going on with the United States of America, and where are we headed?
You gonna ask me what the hell's going on with the United States of America? Is that what you gonna ask me? Man,
Hey, what did you used to say, Yoes? You used to say something about Trump, and me and Yori laugh about that all the time. We be trying to get the phrase right, but
you could there could be 10,000 things. I mean, look, man. Look, I mean, you know, I've heard people say, I've heard actually several women, not several, a couple of women comment about Kamala and about, oh, I don't trust her, and this, that, and the other. Okay, you know, she's a former DA. You know what? I get it. You know, people's personal styles can rub people the wrong way. Okay, I understand that. But what's Magic? Oh, what's he doing? Oh, there's
getting people to vote for Kamala, Sean.
Oh yeah. Look, I think I'm be real about it. When she was the district attorney in San Francisco, I remember seeing her and thinking, wow, she looks like she's going to do something. She had some charisma. She's obviously a very good looking woman. But she had some charisma, and the way she came off was, to me, I didn't know anything about her politics, but I'm pretty good at spotting political talent. And she came off very well to me. And I was like, she's going to be something. She's going to be a star. So she moved through the ranks, became Attorney General for California, had some controversies, but had some wins also. Then she went to the Senate. I'm like, okay, she's on a trajectory. When she did those hearings, she looked really solid. She was lighting them dudes up, man. Bill Barr, the Supreme Court hearings of Kavanaugh. I mean, she lit them jokers up, and she looked very strong. She becomes vice president, and anybody who knows about politics and civics knows that can be a very difficult spot for an aspiring politician to be in, because you operate at the pleasure, at the whim of the president. And if the president decides to stick you in a shit job, that's where you're going to be. And you're not going to have the opportunity to shine and do the things that you want to do in order for your career to, evolve. So she got jammed up, and her record as Attorney General was not in alignment with the law enforcement reform movement, the murder of George Floyd. All those things kind of were a confluence that really did her in politically. And so she was kind of really stuck in the back with a lousy 32% approval rating. But as soon as she got the ball when Biden stepped down, could you imagine if Joe Biden was still the candidate for president? I mean, he literally, look, I'm gonna be real with you about this too. I ain't never been a Joe Biden fan, ever. Because I remember him in when he was a senator, and he was one of the architects of the crime bill. I mean, he was always in bed with the segregationists. I mean, this is a cat who's been in politics for more than 50 years. So I've never been a Joe Biden fan. I think Jim Clyburn saved his life, because he would have wound up losing a third presidential run if it hadn't been for Clyburn going to bat for him in South Carolina and turning everything around. Okay, so I've never been a Joe Biden fan, but could you imagine what it would be like if this man who he's struggling, if he had been in the chair, the Democrats would have been absolutely destined to lose to Donald Trump. But I say all that to say about Biden, as badly as Biden is struggling, Donald Trump, I mean, what politician have you ever heard of who has gotten the opportunity to do the thing? I mean, name one transgression that Donald Trump has laid out. It would have killed the career of just about any politician that's ever lived. Just one. And this nigga does this every single day. Every day. Donald Von Schitzenpants. Every single day. What he said, she was mentally deranged. They're eating the cats and dogs. How can that not kill a career? I mean, come on, man. Look, if you, I see. Here's the thing, brother. Seriously, I'm not an ideologue, and I'm not. Believe it or not, I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent. I voted for Republicans. I voted for Larry Hogan. I'll say it publicly. I voted for Larry Hogan. I voted for Bob Ehrlich. I don't have a problem with Republicans per se, but Donald Trump's not a Republican. He's not a conservative.
He's a different breed.
He's MAGA. And so if you and I understand parties go through growing pains and they change and they evolve and they grow and do all those things. But at the end of the day, you can't, there's something inherently unfair with deciding you want to put somebody in a chair who doesn't understand how a democracy operates. It's just, you can't, and I'm not, if you want to change the rules in midstream what it feels like to me is that the people who back, and I'll say specifically, the vast majority of his backers who happen to be white, it feels like because they don't have the country that they want, they'd rather just burn the whole shit down. That's what it feels like. And I'm like, that's a damn lie, because our people built the country. And you don't get to burn the country down because you don't like how things are going. So I don't feel like arguing about politics. I don't feel like going back and forth, because to me, it's not about ideology. It's not about Republican and Democrat. It's about someone who is not competent to occupy. When he did what he did in Helsinki, to me, he should have been arrested. But that's just me. That's just little Sean Yoes, when you literally side with, what does he have? His love for Vladimir Putin it's the stuff that love songs are made of. You could have Luther Vandross creating a ballad about Trump and Putin. I mean, you can speculate. You can speculate all day about why he is such a Putin devote. He's the president of Russia. He's a former KGB spy. And Trump is his useful idiot. It's just too much to even talk about. It's too much to talk about. So I know that some of you all on the panel are devotees. I'll say devotees. And I no disrespect, but I mean, do you really, honest to God, think this man is qualified to be in the chair? I don't see it. I can't see it. I don't see it. Hannibal Lecter, what are we talking about here? I mean, how can a man qualified to be president of the United States? How can when the region of the country, the southern part of the country, the western coast of Florida, North Carolina, are going through this tragedy with the hurricane, and he says Biden didn't reach out to the governors. He didn't do anything. And it's a goddamn lie. And he goes back and he doubles down and says, well, he didn't. How is that not disqualifying? You're literally dealing with a tragedy that has killed almost like 200 people. And you're playing politics? You're playing politics in a scenario where historically Republicans and Democrats come together. They come together and they deal with the tragedy. What the fuck is wrong with him? He doubles down and says, no, he didn't. He tells a bold-faced lie. He says Haitians are eating dogs. He sicks the goddamn MAGA on. I mean, these are people that are in the country legally, that were invited by the state of Ohio to be there. And he decides, well, these niggas are changing the way of life in Ohio. And so I'm going to lie and say they're eating dogs and they're eating cats. And then when the man gets challenged by it, he says, well, I saw it on TV. I mean, how is he the president? How is he qualified to be president of the United States? Get the fuck out of here.
Because he did it for 4 years.
If Kamala Harris was selling gold tennis shoes and gold watches
and Bibles,
what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Come on.
You don't want to buy a Donald Trump Bible?
No, I'm all right. Cool. And I'm cool in the tennis shoes too. And I got a fly watch. I don't want to 100. The watch is 100 stacks, y'all. $100,000 for the Donald Trump watch.
That's crazy.
Yo, so you gone off about 45, but I got to ask you about the two vice presidential candidates before you leave. What are your thoughts about them?
Oh, James David, isn't that his name?
JD Vance.
James David. What was his original name? He's had 3 names.
Oh, I didn't even know he had 3 names.
Oh, JD from New York.
It was James David both.
Go Google it.
He's got 3 names. He's had 3 names. But anyway, and he apparently he said this. He said he was gay when he was a younger man, and his grandmother said, "Well, no, that's not good. You can't be gay." And he changed his mind. What vice presidential candidate?
I'm about to go rob something. I know me. I'm dangerous.
Now you got Davante going there and laughing hysterically.
What?
His name is James David Vance, but he was born James Donald Bowman.
Because he was delivered. He was delivered.
There was another one though. He had another name. He changed his name twice. But simple question. Has there ever been a male candidate for vice president that wears eyeliner?
I didn't even know he wore eyeliner, bro. He got Davante getting ready to laugh again.
Pay attention. Sultan of Suave. Pay attention, my man. Pay attention. Yeah, he's what dude rails against immigrants when his wife is the daughter of immigrants? She's a good-looking girl, but the MAGA hates her. My God. I mean, my God. How does he stand? I don't even know how he can deal with the hatred that his wife is getting hit with because she's brown. Because she's a brown woman. The hypocrisy is unfathomable.
And don't forget, he lies better than Trump.
Well, he does. I mean, which is spectacular. How can you lie better than Trump? The greatest liar in the history of liars. Almost as great as Beelzebub himself. But JD's smooth with it. Look at his wife. Look at his wife. They called her everything but a child of God. And you know it. I'm not. I mean, think about it. The girl said, "Who was the chick? Who Ann Coulter?
Mm-hmm.
Ann Coulter he said, well, she's the one who said.
Oh, you talking about when she was talking to Vivek Ramaswamy?
Yeah, so said, I'll never vote for you because you're not white.
Yeah.
She said it straight to his face.
She did.
And he's like, well, I guess he just took it.
Yeah, there's nothing else he could do. He was like, okay.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. You're right about that. I mean, at least she had the balls to do it. And I mean for real, the balls.
Yeah.
To do it. I don't know, brothers. I don't know.
So let's just say we already know your vote is going strictly straight to Kamala. Sorry.
Oh, here we go.
Comma.
Oh, no, I said it right. Kamala.
You're right, comma, lie.
Look, man, if you think that I think that somehow Kamala Harris is a perfect candidate, that's not the thing. That's not.
She's just the only candidate, right?
I mean, I don't see me voting for the other cat, man. I mean, I'm asking the question. Look, again, it's not, to me, it's not about Republican and Democrat. It's not about ideology. How do you okay, let's break it down like this. How do you lose an election?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay,
how do you lose an election and
the Ravens beat the Bengals the other day. Close game.
Yeah.
Hard fought game.
Right.
What if the Bengals just didn't get off the field and say, fuck that? We won the game. We won the game. We contested the game and they just said, I mean, it's the same thing. He lost the election. And he said, no, I didn't lose. Mm-hmm. And because I didn't lose, I'm going to sick the dogs on you.
Yeah.
And so they came into the Capitol.
They did.
Beating people down.
They was.
Killed some police.
Maybe.
Well, they died.
Okay,
they ain't no maybe. They died. Now.
Not maybe. You might have died.
and then them crackers had the audacity to shit in the Capitol, and guess who had to clean it up? Black people.
Well, we've been cleaning up things for hours.
Well, that don't make it right, brother.
I don't.
That don't make it right. But so you lose the election, you decide, no, I won, and I'm just going to turn the country upside down, and I'm going to destroy the democratic system or the Democratic Republic in the process. And that's not disqualifying?
I thought it was been destroyed, though.
Well, I don't think so.
I don't know. It wasn't destroyed.
By whose measure was it destroyed?
No. I'm saying it wasn't destroyed when he first started to run in 2015 or 2014. When he first got on the scene.
No.
And was going against Hillary.
Why was it destroyed?
Because he won.
He won fair and square.
Are you sure that was fair and square?
He won. He won the Electoral College.
Okay. All right.
I mean, my head was hurting, but the motherfucker won. He won. No, don't play with it.
I'm not playing with it. I'm not.
He wasn't. No, he won the election.
Okay.
His team executed a plan that worked on that day. He said it himself. He said 9 out of 10 times I probably would have lost that election, but on that day I won. He won the election. I would never. There was nothing to protest. He won the election.
Oh.
He lost the popular vote by almost 3 million, but he won the electoral vote because Hillary Clinton thought that she had black people sewn up in Detroit,
right?
And she thought the same thing. It was another state, I think. The blue wall failed. and that was because she was arrogant. Jim Comey didn't help anything with his little shenanigans at the end, towards the end. But she lost that election and he won it. So there was no democracy held. He won. Shit. But he lost in 2020, bro.
Yeah.
Let's go even deeper. He really lost because of COVID. If it had not been for COVID, that nigga would have won.
But you know what though? This is me putting my conspiracy theorist hat on. I think they planned that for him to do that. Well, they planned that.
They ain't planned for that nigga to say tell people to put bleach in
him out. Now that part, yeah.
They didn't plan that.
Yeah.
We can if you inject some bleach or some light, in or around,
If you was dumb enough to do that, then that's on
people did it. He was dumb enough to say it to the American people. He told the man. He told Woodward during those interviews. He was saying, "Well, Bob, I didn't want people to panic. Here's the serious thing. I lost two very dear friends, two very dear people to me during COVID. A million people died, and a million Americans died. That number could have been cut in half if he had any level of competency early on. That many deaths could have been prevented, and that's really the truth. He lost because of his treatment of COVID. That's the real thing. He was on his way to win.
I know. He was.
So it is what it is. But so let me ask you this, bro. What if he loses in 2020? What if he just says, you know what? I lost. I gave it all I had. If he had came back now, he would win. He would have won this year. If he had just played it like a normal human being and said, I lost. I gave it all I had. I did the best that I could, but I lost. I came up a little short. Man, he would have had independence. All those moderate Republicans would have came back to him. It wouldn't have mattered who they would have put up against him, Kamala Biden, whoever. He would on November 5th, he would win that election.
In 2020? I mean,
no, I'm talking now.
Oh, now.
In 2020, if he had conceded and just said, hey, I lost. It was close. I did the best I could. If he had just shown some class, if he had just done it like a traditional politician, I think he wins now if he had done that in 2020.
Okay.
But he lost. He lied and said he won, and then January 6th happened, and he got jammed up. I don't get it, man.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Trump is always and has been these last 9. How many years has it been? 8 years.
Feels like 8 years. Feels like longer.
He's been goofy. Okay,
goofy?
He has been. Yes, capital G. Yes, capital G. He's been extremely goofy.
Worse than goofy, man.
But I see. I'm with them other people though. I don't trust Kamala. I don't. I ain't gonna say a lot. I don't trust her.
Well, I don't know why you trust him. Why you trust him?
Because he's been in the seat already for 4 years. He's already been.
But he literally
did a terrible job.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he
didn't.
Yeah, he kind of did. I mean,
he did, bro. He did.
No, he didn't.
He didn't preside over the greatest economy. That's bullshit. He didn't preside over the greatest economy in U.S. history. He did not. He border crossings are down now. He killed the bill that would. Come on, man. No, he's not. No, What are the policies that were so great under Trump? I don't see what these policies were. I don't know who, but Black unemployment now is lower than it was under Trump. Black small business growth is greater now than it was under Trump. So all this, I've done so much for the Blacks. All of that is like horseshit. But here's the thing. Ultimately, and I'm gonna go to bed. Ultimately, the most complicit entity in the ascension of Donald Trump is American media. They have every step of the way for 9 years. They have bent over backwards to try to make, they call it sane washing now. I don't like that term necessarily. But the reality is, you know, he can say the goofy, to use your word, the goofiest shit on earth, and they'll refer to him as unorthodox. Like he's really a legitimate politician. This thing is not a legitimate. There's no other politician in the history of the United States that could get away with what he has gotten away with. And a huge part of it is because the mainstream media has allowed him to do it. How come a politician can, if somebody lies to you in your face and you know it's a lie, you gonna sit there and take it? No, you're not. You're gonna say, yo, you lying. Get out my face. How come he has the opportunity to tell straight lies and nobody challenges him? I saw Caitlin Collins of CNN one time say to him, he said something ridiculous, and she said, that's not true. Who told you that? And this nigga folded up like a damn chair. He fell apart because she pushed back on him in that instant in real time. I've only really seen her and the Australian cat, when he sat down with the interview with the cat from Australia. I can't remember his name. He was with not Politico, or it may have been Politico. He sat down for a sit-down interview after Trump became president, and everything that Trump said that was a lie, the cat pushed back on him. And he fell apart. But how does the mainstream media not see it as their duty, as their charge?
But I thought the mainstream media now is starting to fact check like both candidates. Come on,
after 9 years, now they're fact checking him.
I mean,
he been lying. He been lying for 100 years, and now let's fact check. Now there's a month. Now it's a month left. I mean, come on, man, you gotta go. Come on, Daddy. Come on. Now they fact checking him, and he said, and he was going to do a 60 minutes interview, and he said, "Well, I'm not going to do it. You're going to fact check me." Nigga, don't lie. You only get fact checked when you lie. Stop lying, nigga. You won't get fact checked. You won't get fact checked.
I'm gonna let you have that.
What's your name?
Nice mic drop right there.
My name's Donald John Trump, billionaire. I own a mansion and a yacht. I mean, you know, I'm just. That's it.
You got it, Sean. You got it.
Yeah, I'm all right.
You got it.
I'm all right. It's just the West Baltimore coming out of me. That's all. You know, I again, if it was when Obama ran against John McCain,
that was classy.
I voted for Obama because
that was classy. That was a classy race.
I believe. I mean, can you imagine John McCain?
No.
John McCain, he literally has a rally and a woman stands up and says, "Oh, I don't trust Obama. He's an Arab." John McCain stops her and says, "No, ma'am. He's a husband and a father, a good American who I just had profound differences with." That seems like it happened 500 years ago. John McCain is not the image of John McCain, the notion of John McCain is not even possible within the Republican Party now. A decent man. If Obama had lost to John McCain, I'd be like, oh, okay, that's cool. You got a good man in place. But look, we honestly, brothers, honestly, I can go on and on about Trump till the damn cows come home.
Oh, I know.
This isn't about Trump. This is about our country is in a bad space, man. Because misinformation and disinformation has really just people believe shit that is unbelievable. On both sides. On both sides. Now, I don't like doing that both sidesism because I do believe that the threat is more prevalent from the right. But their disinformation is permeating every political thought and idea that there is out there. And that's a problem. When you can't agree on a set of facts, that's a dangerous thing for any group of people. a country, a state, a community. So it's not this, even though it's about Trump, it's really not about him. He's taking it. Let me tell you this last thing.
Okay.
Donald Trump is the most cunning man to have ever held that office. And now that's saying something. You're talking about Bill Clinton. You talk about Richard Nixon. You talk about Franklin Roosevelt. You talk about George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. The most cunning man ever to hold that office. But cunning is a dual-edged sword, and it can be very dangerous if it's wielded the wrong way. But the other thing is, he's the laziest motherfucker that's ever been in office too. And that's the thing. I mean, the dude, on a basic level, he didn't come down to work until about 12 o'clock. He had to watch TV in the morning, you know what I mean? Watch Fox and Friends and all that bullshit and everything. And then come down around 12 o'clock, put in a couple of hours, then go play golf.
Don't forget Twitter fingering all day long.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. I don't know. America has a lot of karma they got to answer for. And then he is the karmic symbol. So anyway, so we got one Trump voter. You gonna vote for him? I'm not gonna ask you that. It's your prerogative. I'm not gonna ask
Sean,
you.
do I have to? Do I have to do anything? What do I have to do? Do I have to choose? What am I supposed to do?
No.
You don't have to choose.
Look, I'm an independent.
We also believe in a secret ballot. That's part of civics. Civics 101. We believe in a secret ballot in the United States. So your vote is your business. Your vote is your business.
Sean, I wish that was true for everybody. It's not.
No, it is a secret ballot.
It is, but it isn't. It's like either you gonna be over here or you're gonna be over there. You got to choose.
The country is absolutely. It has never been so divided. I think it hasn't been so divided since the Civil War. And I don't think that's hyperbole. I think that's an accurate fact. But here's the other thing, and I know I'm supposed to go. Trump's whole dystopian, outlook on the country. The country's a rat's nest. The country's going to hell. The country's not a rat's nest. I've been all over this country. I'm a product of West Baltimore. We have our issues, but I live in a beautiful city. I don't give a damn what anybody says. I live in a beautiful city with a lot of really good people. There's some people that aren't so good, but the vast majority of the people in the city are good people. And I go all around the city. I walk through the city. I walk through West Baltimore. I walk through downtown. I walk through Mount Vernon. People aren't getting their heads cut off. People aren't getting blown up by IUD. This notion that America is a rat's nest is what I see. And I was traveling today. I'm traveling next week out of the country. I was out of the country last month. What I see when I come back to America is people doing the best that they can. And for the most part, people are happy. People are doing okay. We're not perfect. It's not a perfect country. Price of food and shit is too high. Yeah, that's real. But the economy in the United States, measured against the other nations around the world, is doing very well. And that's just the truth. Trump can say whatever the hell he wants to say, but when you measure the economy of the United States to the industrialized nations, the other industrialized nations, we're doing much better. The employment rate, the strength of the dollar, the GDP, all of these things are very, very strong. So, yeah, eggs are high. I'm not dismissing that, But I think generally people. I'm gonna ask y'all, and just tell the truth, be honest. On average, how are y'all doing? Are y'all okay? Or are your lives shit? I don't think your lives are shit. Y'all on a podcast, having a good time, doing your thing. You got jobs, you make money. It's not perfect, but I don't think that we live in a rat's nest. Do we live in a rat's nest?
I just want the prices to go down.
Well, we all do.
That's pretty much.
All do.
They ain't going down no matter who in office, Sean.
Salt and a suave. You living in rat's nest, brother? Are you in a rat's nest?
Look, I done did more traveling this year than any other year, so I've been blessed, brother.
Bingo. Chicken. What does it say? What do they say? Winner, chicken dinner. Cravante?
I'm doing all right.
You living in a rat's nest, brother?
No, sir. I'm doing all right. Maintaining, brother.
My man. Rat's nest, brother.
We making it work. We making it do what it do. That's what we always do as black people. We survive no matter what.
Big Raj.
Yeah.
You living in a rat's nest, brother? Is it a rat's nest?
I never lived in no.
All right.
No.
That's all I wanted to hear.
Sean, how can the people keep up with you and what you're working on next? I know you got a couple movies you mentioned, documentaries.
So we're gonna show. I've been working with an organization called Collectively. It's headed by Jamie Wooten, and it's a Black philanthropic organization with a multi-million-dollar budget. It's unique in the United States, and we're working on 4 short films with the theme of Baltimore's legacy of Black liberation. And in February, we're going to show all 4 films, 1 a week. There's going to be I won't call it a panel discussion, but a forum that I'm going to lead with each film, talking about different themes. So I'm very excited about that work, honoring Billy Murphy, the internationally acclaimed lawyer, Joe Carter, the people's champion, leaders of a beautiful struggle, and a great internationally known artist named Joyce J. Scott. So all 4 of those people are making films about their lives and their impact on our community. So that's what I've been working on very feverishly, as a matter of fact. So that's what's happening. So in February, all that will come out, and then next year is going to be very interesting. I'll leave it at that. I can't talk about all that stuff yet, but we're not in the rat's nest, though. I'm not living in a rat's nest. No rat's nest.
Sean, we appreciate you, my good brother, and gotta have you back after all this plays out in the next couple of months.
Y'all kept me up way past my bedtime, man. I told Dre, I was like, man, I'm operating on no sleep.
It's my fault, man. I'm sorry, man.
No, it's not your fault. I'm not. You got my adrenaline going, so now I gotta watch.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Got him fired up about 45. We see
45.
Sean, we appreciate you staying up late, brother. Get some rest.
I appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank y'all. I appreciate
it. One more time, give it up for Sean Lewis, everybody. Doing big always, and always supporting us here, Stand Up Late on the Flex Zone podcast, and just dropping those bombs and speaking it like it is as we get ready for an interesting time to close out a fun year of 2024. Man, I cannot wait till we recap the year of 2024. Boy, that's going to be a show right there. Let's get to some football, because this week all of our teams kind of intertwine. Ravens beat the Bengals 41-38 in overtime in the game of the year. Lamar Jackson making highlight plays all over the field. And down in DC, Commanders break out hammer time, whoop up on the Cleveland Browns 34-13. Kavante, I'm going to start with you. Looking at these 2 games and looking ahead kind of to this Sunday, 1 o'clock at the bank. Biggest game between these 2 teams I can remember.
Shoot, man. Yeah. This is the test. Like, it's all things are working, things are flowing pretty smoothly in DC, Washington. We haven't seen this in quite some time, especially the back-to-back good games and performances. And we're not playing the top tier talent. We're not playing the elite of the elite in the NFL thus far. Played some okay to pretty good teams, but this is the test. This is the measuring stick that you pull out on Sunday. Like, how good are you? This is a Baltimore Ravens team that has Super Bowl aspirations and is of the tier 1s in the league. Elite level team in the league. You want to see how good you are? Play them at their crib. That's how you can see how good you really are, or how good your team is or could be. This is the game to do it. And Offensively, I feel good. Defensively, eh. Defensively, eh. I think there are going to be a lot of points scored at the bank this Sunday. Even though my defense has been looking better, when you're going against Lamar Jackson, all them defensive statistics go out the window. You know what I'm saying? Lamar Jackson not a normal player. But we have a guy that's similar, that has a similar skill set to Lamar Jackson. So I think our defense will be better prepared than, a team that doesn't have a quarterback like Jaden Daniels or Lamar Jackson. But I'm concerned defensively. I don't think we're going to stop you. I don't think we're going to stop the Ravens offensively at all. With as D says, Bo Henry,
Bo Derek.
Shoot, I think I like Bo Henry, but Bo Derek is cool. That's a lot of firepower on that and in that backfield, and that's gonna be hard to stop. I think we're gonna have trouble getting stops. Offensively, I think we're gonna figure it out. I trust Cliff Kingsbury, and I trust what I've seen from Jaden Daniels thus far to be able to put up points in this hostile environment.
Look, I know it's getting late, but I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about both your quarterback and there's a quarterback within your division, Jalen Hurts. Do you feel like seeing both your quarterback and Jalen Hurts within your own division is enough to prepare you to face Lamar Jackson this Sunday?
I don't think nothing's enough. There's no way to simulate what Lamar Jackson does on the football field. Like I said, Jaden Daniels has a similar skill set. He's not Lamar Jackson. Let's be honest. Let's pump the brakes. He has a similar skill set. That's all I'm saying. He's not him. I think Jaden is him, but he not Lamar Jackson. He not two-time MVP. He ain't put enough time in yet to be that.
Or what about Jalen Hurts, being that he's been to a Super Bowl and an MVP candidate?
No, Jalen Hurts, he needs certain things. Right? He needs certain things around him for him to be great. He's just not. When I look at the Eagles, I don't think, Jalen Hurts is the reason why they won. When I look at the Ravens, Lamar Jackson is definitely the reason why the Ravens win. As soon as his offensive coordinator left, Jalen Hurts' production has gone down, and the Eagles' production offensively has dropped a little bit. And I don't know. He's since Shane Steichen, right? That was his offensive coordinator.
Yes.
Has left. Things have gone down. So it seems like he doesn't just have it just in him just to every Sunday like Jalen Hurts gonna do something crazy like Lamar Jackson does. Lamar Jackson we're gonna see he gonna make 3 to 4 plays that's like, yo, what? Jalen Hurts is not that. So
that's new.
Dre, what's your thoughts on the Commanders, Ravens, and the Ravens winning Cincinnati? We didn't have you in the post game, so we didn't get your thoughts on the game.
I feel like this is actually going to be, like Karante said, it reminds me of like the Bills right now, where everybody hyped the Bills up and then they took on the Ravens, got punched in the mouth, and they just lost again to the Houston Texans. So this is one of those games where it shows you where you are as a team. Do I think that the Commanders can still make the playoffs and still be in contention to win their division? Yes. But I think that moving forward and beyond that, like as getting a deep playoff run, I know it's early in the season, but some games, you get some games test you better than other games. And I think that this is one of those games for the Commanders. It can be a building block game for them, even in a loss. If it's a good, so I know sometimes there are good losses, and it could be one of those things that happens for this team. We shall see. I think it'll be a close game. I think that both, I mean, it's great for both Baltimore and DC. This is happening, that both teams are doing good, and we're going to look forward to seeing this matchup again. And as far as yesterday's Ravens Bengals game, I know that it was a close game. It was a divisional game, but it showed a lot about the Baltimore Ravens, because it showed that they can come back. We've seen Lamar Jackson come from behind before, but not to that type of deficit on the road. And then the fact that it also helped Justin Tucker, being that we said we were wondering about beyond 50, can he kick? And he did. So that Lamar Jackson being able to come back, putting the team on his back, I think all that is great, especially for our Ravens team when we've had leads and blown the leads. Now we came from behind and was able to beat a divisional opponent. And you saw Joe Burrow gave his best, and Lamar Jackson was just a little better yesterday. And so I think that this is great for this team moving forward. I know we had a slow start with the Raiders game we lost, and then the close game with the Chiefs. But I think that, again, just like this is a building block for the Commanders, I think the past couple games we've had have been building blocks for us, being that we want to get into Super Bowl contention. So I think that for us, that's we're contending for a Super Bowl while the Commanders are trying to chase the narrative and get into the playoffs and then build upon that. So I think that the narrative is there for both teams. It's just different narratives and different ways that they want to get there. So I think that this will be telling for both teams.
Real quick before you go, Raj, 935 combined rush yards for Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, the most by a quarterback duo in first 5 games in NFL history. And we can't forget Lamar Jackson, 6th career game with 4 touchdowns, 50-plus rush yards, 3 more than any other quarterback all time. And Jaden Daniels, first player with 1,000 pass yards, 250 rush yards, first 5 games.
Great. I'm gonna just say this. Jaden Daniels, I told you before, CJ Stroud of this year. He's on a CJ Stroud type of level. I think he's going to be a great player going forward. Very, very young team with the Commanders. I think they're going to give the Ravens a lot of trouble this Sunday. And I'm not trying to be funny, but every quarterback we've played so far, besides Josh Allen, has destroyed our secondary. Brandon Stevens is terrible. Marlon Humphreys was in the boot, from what I heard, when he was on a plane, so he might not play in this game. The rookie Nate Wiggins he's good and bad at the same time. It's gonna be, and Marcus Williams is not playing like he used to play, so I'm not sure what's going on with him. And Kyle Hamilton, he doesn't play in the backfield; he plays up front. So Jaden Daniels might have a really, really great shot of beating this Ravens team this Sunday. Just because I mean, like everybody else said, we got Derrick Henry, Lamar is great. Yes, they're great. They're wonderful. Yeah, raise your hands. Woo! They're fantastic. But that secondary, man, is god awful right now. And I think you're catching us at a really good time. We just played an extremely hard game against the Bengals. Had to go into overtime. Almost play the entire overtime. Extremely tired. Adrenaline rushing. Y'all destroyed the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, man, you might be catching us at a really, really good time. So it would not surprise me if we laid an egg this Sunday. Jaden Daniels takes advantage, and y'all get the victory. But yeah, man, Jaden Daniels is the real deal. I'm not going to take nothing away from the brother. I think he has all the right tools, man, and the right mindset. So on Sunday, but yeah, man, I think you're catching this Ravens team at a really good time.
Well, let us get to the week that was in the NFL and get to the game ball, not so game ball. Let's go down the scores as the Monday night game is final. Let's go back to Thursday. We'll start from there. You guys can chime in as you like as we get ready for game ball, not so game ball. We had the Falcons winning overtime over the Atlanta Falcons 30, what was that? 36-30. And they are now first place in the NFC South. We had the game in London. The Vikings improved to 5-0 over the Jets 23-17. Is Aaron Rodgers done? Is he hurt again? We don't know. The Vikings just keep moving on there as well. Bears, Caleb Williams getting it together. Bears moved to 3-2, 36-10 over the Panthers. We had the Ravens, as mentioned, 41-38 over the Bengals. Dolphins with Tyler Huntley. Odell Beckham made his debut, 15-10 over the Patriots. Commanders whooped the Browns 34-13. Jaguars and Tony Khan get their first win, 37-34 over Flacco-led Colts. Texans beat the Bills 23-20. Apparently, the Bills are now in on the Davante Adams trade sweepstakes as well. Broncos, Bo Nix beat Sean Yoes' Raiders 34-18. The Cardinals, Cravante, Kyler Murray, and the Cardinals, speaking of another Eagles coach, their defensive coordinator, getting it done 24-23 on the road. Packers, Mr. Love, getting it done in LA 24-19. Sorry to hear these thoughts. Giants beat the Seahawks 29-20. And on Sunday night, the Steelers, last second touchdown, 20-17 over the Cowboys. And on Monday night, the Chiefs win again, 5-0, 26-13 over the Saints. Raj, I'll start with you. Your game ball, not so game ball, and thoughts on the week, brother.
My game ball goes to Lamar Jackson. He was fantastic. He played. I did not expect to see that kind of performance out of him, but he showed up, man. He showed up big time. The entire offense, like I said in the post game show, showed up with him. But he led the charge, man. Every time Joe Burrow was throwing touchdown passes, Lamar was throwing them right back, and he just happened to end up with the W at the end. So shout out to him. He gets my game ball. My not so game ball has to go to Aaron Rodgers, man. Such a letdown in London. Now, granted, now the Vikings is a good team, got a great defense, but still, man, some of them balls that he was throwing, man, I'm like, what are you doing? Who are you throwing it to? It was awful, and a player his caliber should not be playing like that. So he gets my not so game ball. He has to do a lot better. They got to play the Bills on Monday Night Football. Let's see if they bounce back. I'm not sure, but he was awful.
Dre, go ahead.
I was like, damn, because Roger took my game ball, but I'm gonna say that my game ball goes to the Dallas Cowboys because the Cowboys have struggled all season. It's a team that I didn't think would make the playoffs, but yesterday they showed me a lot. That game-winning touchdown against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday Night Football, it seemed like everything possible for them to lose that game, and they still ended up pulling through and winning it. So shout out to the Dallas Cowboys. How about them Cowboys for that one? And a rarity, but my not so game ball goes to Sean Payton in a winning fashion, but as a head coach, you should not be getting into it with your young quarterback like that. I mean, you shouldn't be getting into it with your quarterback, period. But we've seen head coaches and quarterbacks go back and forth, but especially a young quarterback, and you're seeing a head coach that wasn't good to see that on the sideline. And I think that the old school have to understand too. These are grown men, especially Bo Nix. Bo Nix ain't like 21. Like he damn near in his mid-20s. Like you just saw he just wasn't having it, and he didn't care. He had all the smoke for pops. So I just didn't think that was a good back and forth exchange. Sean Payton's fiery, and you see that his young quarterback is just as fiery as he is. So he gets my not so game ball because I just didn't like seeing that on the sidelines.
Start low and high, Cravante, Bay, and I may have a late entry for Goofy of the week. I'm going to put it on the screen for you, Cravante. Breaking Goofy. I don't have the sound, but yeah.
Not start low and high. The San Francisco 49ers. I don't know if you guys noticed, but they are 0-2 in their division.
Crazy.
0-2. They dropped one to the Rams a couple weeks ago, and they dropped one to the Arizona Cardinals. Never would thought this.
I would have never thought that either. 8 months pregnant. Yikes.
I'm gathering more information as you talk, so do your thing. I just wanted to.
Oh my gosh, Stefan!
And apparently, Stefan Diggs is the new Mr. Still Your Girl, by the way. Apparently, this is happening to other.
Well, wait, real quick. Side note, Byron, when he was in Minnesota, they was doing like an interview. I don't know who, if it was like a media person or if it was another one of the players, but it was asking, hey, who would you want? Who on the team would you not want your sister to date? And a lot of people said Stefan Diggs. Very interesting.
If it's true, I'll just say yuck.
But game ball. Whew. Oh man. Game ball. Excuse me. I'm gonna give it to the Commanders organization, man. I've never. I feel like not in recent memories. Even further back than that, where we were winning so bad that they didn't play the fourth quarter. My rookie quarterback did not play in the fourth. Marcus Mariota got time in the fourth quarter, which is crazy. Starter sitting down. Things are looking good. Jaden Daniels leading the charge. Didn't play in the fourth quarter. That's a complete game. That's a complete performance. And I absolutely love to see it.
To answer your question, Shante, hell no.
Maybe. I'll say this: if you sweetest heart, if you give me a Jaden Daniels jersey, I will definitely wear it.
I think we know.
I know a person you can get it for with $70 too, if you need one.
Say that again, Raj.
I know a person that can give it to you for $70 if you need one.
Why do you sound like? Why do you sound like Jukebox getting it fresh off the truck, saying something like that?
Well, it is actually fresh off the truck.
No, it's not.
I'm serious.
You say that off camera, man. Don't tell the people about the hot box.
Sorry about your Saints, Shante. By the way, let's get to week 6 of the NFL, guys. Dre, you got the picks this week, or are you still working on it?
All right. So real quick, last week, Byron and Cravante tied at 8-5. Unc, you went 7-6. I went 6-7. The overall standings, Unc, Byron, and Cravante, y'all are all tied for first place at 42-35. I am 2 games behind y'all at 40-37.
Oh, wow.
Now it gets fun, fellas. It gets real fun.
Turn it up.
6. And I had a couple nice little swings that I made on. Shout out to the Cowboys. Thank you, Dak, for that game-winning drive. Thursday, we got another good one, man. The Thursday night games have been on fire this year. I think everyone has been pretty bearable, I would say, especially last week. 49 and Seahawks. I think there's going to be another good one, guys. Battle.
I got Seattle.
Ooh. 49ers can't go 0-3, man. They can't go 0-3, yo. But it is in Seattle. Sheesh.
That's why I picked them.
On the
Seattle
show,
just lost to the Giants. Seattle just lost to the Giants.
And they got it. Oh boy, Seattle is not a terrible pick. I'm
going with the 49ers.
gonna say 49ers too. But
Give me 49ers. Give me 49ers.
I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised.
You got the 49ers too, Byron?
Yeah, you can give me 49ers. Jaguars, Bears, I think we all agree here the Bears get the 4-2.
Yeah, the Bears.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't look now. Caleb Williams starting to heat up, guys. And the Bears starting to round in the form. DJ Moore, big game. Cardinals, Packers. This should be fun. Jordan Love and Kyler Murray.
Green Bay.
Yeah, it's at Lambeau. You know I don't pick against the Packers at Lambeau.
Right. Raj.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going with Love. Man, if it was Arizona, I'd probably go the other way though.
What about you, Unc?
I'm going with the Packers.
Yeah, we all going Packers.
Yep.
Colts, Titans.
Colts.
This is a tough game. Is Joe Flacco playing?
Yeah, he's starting.
If he is, definitely Colts.
Yeah, I'm Colts.
Yeah, Colts as well.
I already know everybody picking Houston next game. So
yeah,
Houston.
Patriots.
Come on now.
Buccaneers, Saints. Give me the Bucks.
Yeah, I'll take the Bucks as well.
Yeah, Derek Carr. They said it's questionable. So
Oh, he did get hurt this tonight, didn't he? Oh yeah, Bucks.
Browns, Eagles. We can move past that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll come back to Ravens and Commanders, but Chargers, Broncos. I'm going Broncos.
I'm gonna go with Chargers.
I'm going Chargers too.
I'll go Chargers as well.
I don't think they're going to be able to score on the Broncos. And that running game is going to be shut down. Steelers, Raiders, Sean Yoes, where you at?
Steelers.
Is this a Russell Wilson game? Is Russell Wilson playing?
Oh boy.
No,
Steelers won.
I don't think Justin Fields played that bad though. I'll be honest. So I'm still going. Everybody rolling with the Steelers?
Yeah. The Raiders are not pickable.
Yeah, I can't trust the Raiders. Lions, Cowboys. You know what? This is going to be an interesting game.
Lions.
Oh yeah, they is it Jerry World? Oh yeah, Lions. Time for the Lions to show out.
Yeah, I'm going with the Lions.
You know what? The Cowboys did just win a close game, which means they're about to lay an egg. So give me the Lions.
Lions.
Falcons, Panthers. We can go past this, Dre. We know who's winning that.
Yep. Falcons.
I mean, Bengals, Giants is not going to be an easy game. This could have been Ravens, Commanders, but we'll digress. And
I'll go with the Bengals.
Yeah, I think everybody probably rolling with the Bengals on this one.
I'll go the Bengals.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm mad that's the Sunday night game.
Yeah, Bills. That's why they was trying to buy it, Dre. Bills, Jets on Monday night.
I think the Jets bounce back. I'm going with the Jets.
I agree with you, Rod. I think they do too.
I'm going opposite. I think that the Bills win this one.
Me too. Bills got to bounce back. They done laid two stinkers.
Yeah, I mean, if you lose 3 in a row, bro, you're not in Super Bowl contention, or you need to call Davante Adams expeditiously and offer a first.
Well, I didn't believe in the Bills before the season. I know that. I thought it would come back to bite them and no receivers. So
Right. So yeah.
Eventually it will. I think the Jets defense could have done. Commanders, Ravens. This happens every 4 years, but it's in Baltimore this time. 1 p.m. Ravens 6.5. I think that spread's a little high. 6.5. 52.5 total. I'm going Ravens at home. This could become hammer time if the Ravens play like they're supposed to, because I don't think the Commanders play anybody, but that's just me.
It's not gonna be hammer time. I don't know. I'll be honest with you, this is a really tough pick. Because after what we had to go through last week. But I'll stick it out with the Ravens, even though I don't feel comfortable with it.
I want to know who they're gonna have to tackle Derrick Henry.
I feel you, Byron, that it's gonna be an exposure game, I think, and a test for the Commanders. But something just tells me, like Unc said, it was a tough divisional game. They done had, some good victories against like the Cowboys and against the Bills and now the Bengals. But this could be one of those games when they might just end up losing it on something crazy. So I'm gonna roll with your team, Cravante. Pick Washington.
Wow. Dre's picking the Commanders. Wow.
Damn, I was trying to be the lone wolf on this one. At first I was gonna try to talk myself into it, but I think coming off of rough divisional game where you had to play an extra quarter, I think fatigue is something to be said about fatigue going into the going to the next week, all the pressure is on the Ravens. Absolutely, all the pressure is absolutely on the Ravens.
Yeah, because we're a Super Bowl contender,
which is, I think, is a good spot for the Commanders. I will go with the Commanders.
Should be interesting. 1 o'clock on Sunday.
I hate that it's 1 o'clock, man. That definitely should be the night game, but
at least 4 o'clock.
CBS was not trying
I
to come
feel a lot better if it was a night game.
Or at least move it to 4 o'clock. At least move it to 4 o'clock. Sheesh. That's right. But we shall see, of course. Davante, will you be joining us for the post game this week? We gotta figure something out.
I will join you guys for the post game.
Yay!
Yes, we would love to get your opinion. Go ahead, Dre.
Wait. So wait, are we fellowshipping or are we separating or
we're gonna be together, fellas. The fellas gonna be together.
Okay, cool. Yep. I would love to be a part to actually be a part of the post game.
Let's get goofy, Davante, if you're ready.
I thought we were skipping Goofies of the Week this week.
Are we skipping it? We skipping it? Are we skipping it? Okay, well, we can skip Goofies of the Week. Then that is all we got this week. That's fine. We had a late incoming Goofy. I just saw that and I was like, well, this might be something to discuss.
Wait. Since we're here, what is from the research that you've collected, what is the validity of this?
From what I've heard so far, is from academics, so take it with a grain of salt. Apparently, they saw text messages, but it's not confirmed. I don't know. So I don't know.
It's alleged, bro.
It's alleged.
Okay, so like, I mean, Stephon Diggs, you something else, brother. If this is true, Stephon Diggs, you something else, brother.
I know,
but I'm here for it.
I know we didn't get to the dub tonight.
Yeah, go ahead. Talk about the WNBA, Dre. You can talk about it.
But I mean, it's sad we won't get to see a 3P champion with the Las Vegas Aces. But I mean, look, they gave it their all and close, but no cigar. The Lynx though seem like they're going to be the favorite to win it all. We'll see. I think it's going to be Lynx and Suns to me. Those are the two right there. And then also in baseball, these are some good matchups right here. I mean, you got the Yankees, you got the Guardians, you got the Royals, you got the Padres, the Dodgers, Phillies, Mets. I mean these and these series are all like one apiece. So some good baseball here. We got WNBA, and in college, the Ohio State and Oregon is Saturday. I can't wait for that matchup. I might go out for that game too, man. The fellowship. So.
Davante, your thoughts on that? I mean, I know we had a crazy weekend. Alabama lost, Georgia. I mean, it was just a lot of losses this weekend. Tennessee, I mean.
Listen, Byron, let me tell you, Byron, Raj, Dre, Vegas made a lot of money. They made a lot of money this past weekend with all them upsets, man. Especially that Alabama
Vanderbilt, crazy.
Oh my gosh! Like even if it was even an inkling that Vegas was down, they up now because they got a lot of money. They took a lot of people's money, but that's what Vegas does, right? To the WNBA, I told y'all if it was gonna be a team to stop the Aces, it would be New York. I like New York to go all the way now. And these games are crazy. Games definitely crazy. Shorty from what's his brother name? The running back from Boise State is having an amazing season. Thus far,
Heisman is whoever. It's a pick.
What was it? Al Jeffrey or something like that? Al something.
Yep. Ashton. Genty. Ashton Genty having an amazing year. I gotta sit down and watch a game. They play Hawaii, so that's kind of suck because their game's not till 11 p.m. But I'm gonna try to catch a Boise State game to see my man in action.
Ashton Genty, 186 yards, 3 touchdowns on 13 first half carries. Davante.
Yep. I've seen highlights. And friend of the pod, Marcus Davis, our guy that breaks down boxing really well. He told me about him. I was like, I've seen him, but he was like, yo, I sat down and watched the game. He looks like he's playing Madden. I said,
college 25. Because he's like a 99 in college 25.
How about Miami, guys? The U is back. I told y'all, look out for Cam.
The U.
What a comeback. 39-38. They undefeated. Penn State gets the win. As mentioned this week, beat Ohio State and Oregon. I'm going with the Ohio State.
Come on now. I'm riding with the squad.
Look,
Listen,
I'm going with Oregon.
Go to right kid, Dre. Go to right kid. Where you going with?
Huh? You got Penn State. You got Penn State, USC. That's a big game. Texas, Oklahoma, Red River rivalry. That's always good. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Maryland's on Friday night, guys. So look out for that.
Yeah.
It's in Oregon. I didn't know it was in Oregon. I'm still going to Ohio State. So there you go. Ole Miss, LSU, Iowa State, West Virginia. Kansas State goes to Colorado. Kansas State number 18. We'll see how good Colorado is this week as well.
I guess maybe they can sneak into the top 25.
Yep, and our boy, Mr. Genty, plays at 11 o'clock on CBS Sports Network.
Yeah, it is.
So there you go. He'll probably run for about 300 this week.
Right. I was say, you want to talk about a Madden game? This may be one of those Raj, how do you say, stat padding games?
Yeah.
This may be one of them.
To the WNBA Game 5 tomorrow between the Lynx and the Sun. So the winner will face the Liberty starting next week in the WNBA Finals. Dre, episode 461 next week. What can the people expect as we continue and get through the NFL season? Week 6, getting ready for week 7 next week. We will be doing.
Continued with everything that's going on. Get ready to soon prepare for the NBA. Like we said, college football, we'll probably be able to get into that some more next week, as well as baseball and the WNBA. By that time, it should be the finals coming up. So there's some good stuff coming up for the podcast next week. And we didn't even talk about WWE Bad Blood or AEW with what they got going on. It's just a lot happening in the world of sports.
Well, Dre, we're on here every day, so we talk about it every day. We'll be here tomorrow as well. Raj, big week. Another one.
We have AEW and NXT tomorrow night, so we'll be live for that. Then we have nothing on Wednesday. There'll be a preview of the Ravens and the Washington game on maybe Friday. Maybe a preview of the Maryland game for Friday since they play Friday. And I think are y'all doing Wrestle Dream?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay, well, y'all be doing Wrestle Dream. So we'll be streaming that this weekend as well. So have fun.
It's very important. Yes, I'll be watching that and Oregon, Ohio State at the same time. So have fun. A lot of videos on. We were live pretty much every day last week. So check out everything on the channel. More content coming this week. And we'll be live, like Raj said, for Wrestle Dream. And a lot of big things coming up as we head towards Survivor Series in WWE as well. So a lot of things coming up in Ravens Commanders post game with the whole crew. Maybe a special big time event on Sunday evening whenever we get that done. Show was created. Executive producer Andre Melton, the Sultan of Suave, and of course the co-creator, the Commander Warrior himself. We salute you, Davante, baby, and social media producer Big Raj. Sleepy time's coming, but he's still here every day as well. God knows yours truly, social producer, flexon1@gmail.com, Twitter, Instagram, the Flexon1, Facebook, the Flexon1, and of course the Flexon Podcast on TikTok. You can super chat us. You want to support the channel, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, vote on the poll, let us know about Davante Adams. We'll keep you posted on that if any trades do break, maybe in the next couple days, possibly, or the next couple weeks as well. Join us each and every day. We'll be live tomorrow for Panel Tuesday. We got NXT, then we're going to AEW for 3 hours at least. We'll be up here as well. And don't forget, coming up for the election, we'll be live on November 5th. Don't know how we're going to do it, but we'll figure something out. I don't know if they announced. Did they announce the winner that night?
Normally they don't, but I mean it depends on how. It depends on a lot, but they might.
It'll definitely be the next day. It definitely be after.
I'm thinking we'll have to probably go around the time the news outlets go on. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
I mean, we pretty much is just like sit and watch.
Yeah.
You know, maybe go on like a CNN or MSNBC, just see what they talking about. You know, that type of thing. Have a couple people on, get a couple drinks, you know.
I'm trying to early vote. I don't know about y'all.
It's gonna be hectic though. That day is gonna be hectic.
I'm not trying to be out on that day.
It's gonna be hectic regardless.
Go Joy. All right, look, for Dre, for Raj, for Davante, y'all here host signing off one more time. Big up to Sean Yoes. Thank you again for joining us, Mr. Yoes. We appreciate you, my brother. Big shout out to him. Make sure you guys tap in with him. Check out his things that he's doing in and around Baltimore, DC, and beyond. Check out him, as he'll always be back here on the Flex Zone, episode 460 and beyond. Check us out. We'll be back tomorrow, Title Tuesday, and the rest of the week as well. We got Maryland on Friday. We got Ravens Commanders, and of course, Wrestle Dream. May get some previews, may get some things of that nature. We'll see what happens. But Flex Zone Podcast, only place giving sports how you want it.
When you need it.
Both the ones that now there's the sports podcast table. We gone, y'all. Have a good night. Peace.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. Acknowledge me. Whose house? Whose house? Whose? Finger licking good.